Okay, now I want to talk about hashes. Hashes are one of the most powerful structures in Ruby. Just like an array has brackets around it, a hash has braces. So these are the curly braces on your keyboard. So this is how you define an empty hash. You can also define a hash that has keys and values as literals. So for example, here is a hash where the first key is A and the second key is B, and the values are for and foo. So a hash is like a mapping. You can think of it as a set of properties for something. So for example, if we had suppose in our system we might have a user. That user might have a name, named Paul. It might have a favorite band. So now we have a user that's represented as this hash. It's really cool because now I can key into it. I could key into his favorite band by saying favorite band. And now I know what Paul's favorite band is. So I can use whatever I want for the values on the right-hand side of these keys. So the key is this part here, and this is the value. I can use a number here. If Paul's name was just a number, go ahead and put that there. I can also use any valid literal, so decimals will do, as will Boolean. Let's go ahead and put that back to Paul. One of the things that's interesting about hashes is that the kind of native syntax for defining them, where we say the key name and then a colon, actually creates another kind of type called a symbol. So you can define a symbol outside of a hash by using the colon prefix. So that's a symbol right there. And that's actually a little different than a string. So name is not equal to the string name. It's another type. Symbols are pretty much exclusively used with hashes, and they're really just a way to represent the keys in a hash. If you wanted to define a hash without symbols, you can do that. You can just quote the key. Like so, but you won't generally see that. More often than not, you'll see hashes defined with a symbol. So that's a hash. One thing you might have noticed is that in general, Ruby will correct me in some sense from this style of syntax to the old style syntax. The old style syntax of hashes was to have a key name, so key here, and then what they called the hash rocket. So a equal sign, and then a greater than. This kind of forms a big fat arrow here, and then that maps the key to its value. Either syntax is fine. I think that this syntax is more preferable nowadays. So the kind of more compact version where you have a key, then the colon, and then the value. So you'll see that for the most part, and you'll see that most of our applications. But do be aware that the old syntax exists, and as we saw before, if you want to use a string for the key, you would have to use the old style syntax because the new style syntax is not supported. But for the moment, it's not really that important that you think about the difference between what a symbol is and what a string is. But I would just generally say, if you have a hash, you want to key it with a symbol. So if we're back to that user, we want to key it. Here, I actually have redefined it the wrong way, so let me fix it up. User equals name is Paul. Band. So I'll key it with name here, and that'll be the way to go. If I try and key it with a string, it'll just return nil because that's not how I define the hash. It's going to be it's defined with a symbol. like so.